Hello and welcome to reading this Thursday, May 20th. Today we're going to be doing the following. I can edit and illustrate my Indiana project biography. Yesterday we wrote one. Today we'll make it look nice. Our steps to succeed for today. When you're done for today, you can come back and check if you did these 4 things. Did you check your biography for sense? Check your biography for spelling, capital letters, and periods? Did you add an image to your biography, and did you caption your image? I'll be taking you through the lesson steps in this video, one by one. Let's start with step number 1 to check your biography for sense. So, yesterday, you should have written a biography of a figure. If you didn't, it's time to go back to yesterday's video and watch how to do that. Your biography should look something like this. And the first thing we're going to do is carefully read to make sure that it makes sense. Any spots that don't sound right when you say them out loud, you should pause and try to fix. So you might run into something like this. Levi Coffin was on October 28th, 1798 in New Garden, North Carolina. Uh-oh, it looks like I lost a word there somewhere along the way because I wanted to say he was born. Levi Coffin opposed slavery and made his house into a station on the Underground Railroad. Well, he didn't make his house into a station twice, just one house. Okay, those are some examples of errors that you can make when writing your biography that you should check for. Okay, at this time you should pause the video and go check your biography for sense. Welcome back. Our next step is going to be, let's find out. To check our biography for spelling, capital letters, and periods. First thing we need to do is to read through the biography and check for any words that you weren't sure how to spell with a Google search. Especially make sure your subject's name is spelled right. So I keep writing Levi Coffin with 2 F's. Let me go do a quick Google search and make sure that's the correct spelling for him. L-I-V-C-O-F-F-I-N. Okay, I'm getting this guy. This is the person I'm talking about. That does look like it's his spelling. So that's probably the most important thing to spell correct. I've noticed that Google Slides is not great about correcting spelling. I have several mistakes here that are not underlined in red, so you want to be careful when writing this. Here's a word I wasn't sure how to spell when I wrote this, opposed. So if you're not sure how to spell a word, a Google search is actually a pretty productive way to figure it out. If you type the word the best you can, and then press the word or type in spell, it will usually show you the correct spelling of the word. So I wanted to say opposed. It turns out that one's spelled with 2 P's, so I'm going to come back and fix that. I didn't know how to spell station, so I spelled it S-T-A-S-U-N, S-H-U-N. And you see here, even though I'm not getting that nice definition, Google seems a little bit unsure of what I'm trying to spell. I am seeing how to spell station here, S-T-A-T-I-O-N. My last one here is I'm noticing as I read carefully that I accidentally spelled it with 2 P's, even though I know it's only supposed to be 1 P. So check carefully for spelling. Pause your video and do that. Next up, we're going to check for capital letters. We want to capitalize the first word in each sentence, any place or people's names, and the title of the biography. Let's start with the title. LC are capitalized, but biography should be as well. This is a title of a piece. We want to capitalize people's names and the first letters of any sentences. Levi Coffin's name needs to be capitalized there. Here and here. I'm going to keep reading and see if there's any other places that are place names or people's names. I don't see any. Our last thing we need to do is to put periods at the end of sentences. Levi Coffin was born on October 28, 1798 in New Garden, North Carolina. I meant to end the sentence there, but I forgot to put a period. And I'm going to keep reading carefully and check and make sure that every sentence has a period at the end. Go ahead and pause your video and do that now. Alright, we are done with the editing process. Now for the fun part. It's time to add an image to your biography. Use a Google image search to find an image related to your subject. You can look for a portrait of the person or something that's related. I'd like to do something related. Levi Coffin is known for his house, so I want a picture of that. Okay, I've got a lot of pictures here. I think this one looks the prettiest. Now I need to, what's my next step? Check the site that the image comes from to make sure it's what you're really looking for. So sometimes Google will show you things that are not what you are looking for. You need to check and make sure that this is really Levi Coffin's house. So I'm going to click on the site link and see if I can see. It does say Levi Coffin House, and we have notes about escaped slaves, and this all looks like it is related to Levi Coffin. So I am going to trust that this is his house. I'm going to long press on the image, and then I'm going to add it to photos. Okay, that was save the image. Now we're going to use the plus button to add it to the slide. At this time, you may want to pause your video and go find an image and save it before we go through the steps on how to add it to a slide. Okay, the plus button, image from photos. Down here it is. Okay. So what I'd like to do is resize things to make sure that the image and the text fit all on the same page. So you can click on a text box and then click on the little squares to move the text around. If your text ends up a little bit too big, you can use your keyboard, the shift button, to select text, and then you can make text bigger or smaller after you've selected it with this little A button up here. I like my text to get a little bigger actually because I want it to fill my whole thing. You can use the size button on the A to do that. Okay, and then you can resize your image as well to make it fit. You want it to be pretty much as big as will fit in your space nicely. Go ahead and add an image to your slide now. Our last step, caption your image. Add text with the text box tool and describe your image in 1 to 2 sentences. So we're going to add text. Drag this around, resize it so it fits in the space that I'm using, and then we'll describe this image. Make sure it's a nice complete sentence and that it describes the image and helps us understand what it's doing in your biography, especially if it's not just a picture of the person. All right, let's go check the success criteria and make sure we did everything. We checked the biography for sense. We checked the biography for spelling, capital letters, and periods. We added an image, and we captioned our image. So we are done. See you later.